Osbc says oil producing state earned 625.43 billion naira derivation funds in 2 years. Governor Adeleke to fulfill electoral campaign promises. Ekiti State to establish special court against gender-based violence. And on the foreign scene, a big drop in water level threatens regular electricity supply in Zambia. Good evening and welcome to the major report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The presidency has revealed that 9 oil-producing states received 625.43 billion naira in 13% oil derivation subsidy and sure pay reforms from the Federation account in 2 years. A statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the state that received the reform dating from 1999 to 2021 are Abia, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Imo, Ondo, and River State. The presidency also noted that the Buhari-led regime will continue to render equal service to all the states of the Federation regardless of affiliation, adding that an acknowledgement of this by Governor Nyesom Wike of River State and others is not out of place. According to Shehu, the beneficiary state will still have outstanding balance of 860.59 billion naira windfall from the reforms which was approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. The statement further said the state were paid 8 installments between October 2021 and January 2022, while the 9th to 12th installments are still outstanding. President Muhammadu Buhari again came down hard on governors over what he said was their unbridled ill treatment of the administration of resources at the local government levels. This, he said, has caused what he termed stunted development experience at the total government, unfair labeling of its administration at the grassroots level. The president bared his mind after delivering a speech at an event hosted by members of the Senior Executive Course 44 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The president cited a personal experience involving a governor he did not name, misappropriating funds meant for local government, thereby inhibiting development at the grassroots. He said it beats anyone's imagination how some governors will collect money on behalf of local councils in their state only to remit just half of such allocation to chairmen who will further deplete the remittance in further pilfering of public resources. He, however, related the development to the question of lack of integrity and character of many of those holding such offices, adding that such actions are rather despicable and speak of the height of corruption. Assistant Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has assured the people of Osun that he is committed to delivering all promises made during the last gubernatorial campaign. The governor gave this assurance while addressing Muslim faithful shortly after observing the first Jumat prayer in Osogbo Central Mosque, Ojaoma. Governor's office correspondent Abraham Adekiku asked the report.
Senator Ademola Adeleke stormed Osogbo Central Mosque to the admiration of all and sundry to perform the Jumat prayer for the first time as Executive Governor of Osun State. This, according to Senator Adeleke, is in fulfillment of his pledge that if he emerged victorious in the poll and is sworn in, he will observe the first Jumat prayer in the mosque in appreciation of the spiritual and political support he enjoyed from the people of Osogbo and Osun State in general. Senator Adeleke, while commending the Atauja of Osogbo land, Obajimo Oyetunji Olanipekun Laroye II, for his unflinching support which nearly pitched him against the past government, assured the congregants that he remains resolute to fulfilling all his electioneering promises, just as he called for more support so as to enable him achieve all that he intends to do for the betterment of the state. Responding, the Atauja of Oshoboland, Oba Jimoh Oyetunji Olanipekun Laroye II appreciated the governor for his love for Oshobo, saying Senator Adeleke has stopped the planned relocation of a tractor assembling plant in Oshobo to another town. The monarch thereafter assured the governor of total support of all Oshobo indigenes at home and in the diaspora in the bid to transform Oshobo as the capital of Osun State. Earlier, in a sermon drawn from Quran chapter 42, verse 43, the chief imam of Oshoboland, Sheikh Musa Animasau, called on the governor to forgive whoever offends him, having been patient during the days of struggles as gubernatorial aspirant. The chief imam, who lauded the governor, charged him to hold griply to the tenets of Islam, said he will be among creatures who will be blessed by Allah. The governor, who paid an unscheduled homage to the Atauja, was accompanied by a cheering crowd from the mosque to the palace, where the Atauja in council welcomed him. It has been Abdurrahim Adekleko reporting.
In another development, recently there are allegations and counter-allegations over the present condition of the official quarters of Osun State Deputy Governor situated at the GRA, Oshobo. Osbc visited the GRA quarters. Here are the findings as packaged by Saeed Adeboje.
Located beside the governor's lodge in the state government house, Deputy Governor's official lodge was built on an expanse of land containing a story building and a duplex behind it. It will be recalled that the incumbent Deputy Governor Prince Kola Adewusi alleged that his on-site visit to the official lodge indicates that several valuables, including electronics and fittings, have been carted away, rendering the lodge uninhabitable. But his predecessor, Adegboyega Alabi, replied, saying that nothing has been looted in the said apartment. Osbc News visit to the said apartment revealed that the front building, which houses 5 bedrooms, a kitchen, toilet, and living room, were in questionable position, as the only mattress met at the Deputy Governor's bedroom could not fit into the bed frame. Although bed frames were seen in some rooms, but no mattresses on them. The kitchen was another place the news crew visited. One would be marveled with the situation met on ground, as either plate or kitchen equipment expected in such apartment were seen, except for an old model freezer and refrigerator. The way that welcomed the team of Osbc crew to the second apartment in the Deputy Governor's lodge did not only catch the attention of all, but that of the security as well. It was discovered that lightings and electronic fittings are no longer in the rooms. No furniture, as they were all found empty. Straight to the car park, no vehicle was there as well. Speaking in an interview shortly after the assessment tour, the governor's spokesperson, Malam Rashid Olawale, condemned a situation whereby government property will be looted for any purpose.
We are able to confirm that truly the lodge was looted and pillaged. We now have the media crew actually it is unfortunate what has happened. Losing an election should not be the end of the board. And going about to loot government properties is unbecoming of whoever should be a patriot. So our comment is that luckily we have a panel that is working the asset recovery based on the executive order issued by His Excellency. Anybody that has gone away with government property will surely account for it.
Noted that investigative panel have been set up, and anybody found culpable of having government property in its custody unofficially will be made to face the wrath of the law. For Osbc News, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
Meanwhile, Governor Ademola Adeleke has warned against unlawful activities across local government and area councils. According to a statement by the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Rashid, the ruling by the Federal High Court has generated negative reactions from the opposition party, and their legal functionaries with alleged incitement to violence. The governor then cautioned against any conduct or activities that may be inimical to the peace and progress, directed security agencies to ensure strict maintenance of law and order. The wife of Ekiti State Governor, Odayemi Oyebanji, says the state will establish and equip gender courts in the state as one of the ways of ending gender-based violence, which she described as a hydra-headed problem. Mrs. Odayemi Oyebanji said that the gender-based violence required a multidimensional solution involving a multi-sectoral approach, adding that the state government will look into existing structures to resolve new challenges. Ekiti State Governor's wife stated this in an interactive session with newsmen in Ado-Ekiti as part of activities marking the 2022 edition of the 16 Days of Activism of No Violence Against Women and Children. She promised to ensure that there are gazettes for all public policy laws and also review some of the laws to include whistleblowers and sexual violence crime protection and mandatory reporting, among others. Mrs. Oyebanji expressed gratitude to the State Governor Abiodun Oyebanji for creating an enabling environment and ensuring that the global event is observed in the state. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has approached the court to file a motion to set aside the contempt proceeding and committal order in response to the order issued by the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. In the motion filed before the Federal High Court in the Federal Capital Territory, the IGP extensively highlighted grounds why the order should be set aside, noting that he had not been appointed into office as Inspector General of Police when the case was instituted and the reinstatement order in question granted. He also affirmed that contempt proceedings were served via substituted means in November 2018 and November 2019 respectively on the then Inspector General of Police and not on him as the incumbent. The IGP in his disposition further noted that even before his assumption of office, official steps had been taken by his predecessors toward complying with the reinstatement of Patrick C. Okoli, the plaintiff, as ordered by the court. This, he said, was evident by an official letter addressed to the Police Service Commission on the approval of the then Inspector General of Police as far back as 2015, before the court order requesting the Commission to issue the statement letter to the plaintiff and also effect its promotion in line with the order of the court and in the exercise of their statutory authority in that regard. The IGP reassured Nigerians of the unalloyed commitment and steadfastness in defending the rule of law and respecting judicial authorities, added that it will not wittingly or unwittingly disobey any order validly granted by court of competent jurisdiction. Nigerians have commended the federal government for granting approval for teaching in mother tongue in primary schools across the country, saying it is timely and will advance teaching and learning. Those who spoke with Osbc News in separate interviews noted that if the approval of the new national language policy to make mother tongue a medium of instruction for primary school pupils is implemented, Nigeria as a nation will be better for it. Our reporter, Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, has the details.
Nigerians have continued to react to the recent approval given by the federal government on the national language policy aimed at making mother tongue a compulsory medium of instruction for public primary school pupils. This development has been gathering momentum from well-meaning individuals who commended the federal government's decision but expressed worry on the implementation of the policy. Recall that the Minister of Education, Adamu, recently announced the approval of the new national language policy at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The meeting had announced that the objective of the new policy is to promote and enhance the cultivation and use of all the 625 Nigerian languages in primary schools. Speaking with OSBC News on this development, public affairs analysts including Ms. Blessing Adelaja, Comrade Olufemi Awoniyi, and Comrade Adekola Adebowale maintained that the approval of indigenous language as mode of teaching in primary schools across the country will help in promoting the culture, customs, and traditions of the people. They called for the adoption of indigenous language in the teaching of science in primary and secondary schools, even the tertiary institution, as a sure way of raising the bar of teaching and learning, as well as promotion of mother tongue.
If I'm Hausa, I should be able to speak my Hausa fluently and comfortably. If I'm Yoruba, I should be able to also speak Yoruba very well anywhere, and I shouldn't be shy or ashamed of speaking my own language and dialect, which if we can do this, is actually going to help. So many people cannot express themselves or they are feeling properly in English, and some other people are scared to come out in public to speak because they feel, I don't understand English, I cannot speak it so well, and then when I speak it, I keep pronouncing accents, all this mother tongue comes in it, and also people are always scared, shy, and they don't want to come out to speak English. But when you tell them to speak Yoruba, they are comfortable speaking it because they are good at it. It is their mother tongue.
We were not in schooling. We have Yoruba, Hausa, Ahebo. You choose one. Even you Yoruba, we were in school. We did not even choose Yoruba. We choose another language so they can understand other two in one of the three languages. So I understood Yoruba first, but to understand that Igbo or Hausa, so that you can communicate if you go to anywhere in the country. But now it is better for federal to introduce the mother tongue into the system.
They expressed optimism that the approval of indigenous language as mode of teaching will be a quantum leap in the educational development, as well as a broad pathway towards achieving the much desired breakthrough in other fields in human endeavor. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, OSBC News.
Now welcome to our sports segment. The 2022 FIFA World Cup has officially come to an end for Belgium and their goalless draw with Croatia, which ended the tenure of Roberto Martinez as the coach of the Red Devil. Omatayo at Bodo has details of this and more from the sports desk.
Roberto Martinez ended his tenure as Belgium coach following the team's early exit from the World Cup. The Spaniard, who is 49 years, was appointed in 2016 and was out of contract after the World Cup. Belgium, who claimed third place in 2018, went into the tournament as the world's second-ranked team. Belgium topped the world ranking from September 2018 to March 2022. In the meantime, UEFA has opened an investigation into Juventus for potential breaches of its club licensing and financial fair play regulations. In August, UEFA reached a settlement with Juve on the basis of financial information for between 2018 and 2022, and the club's entire board has resigned over accounting issues. Italian prosecutors requested that former Juve chairman Andres Agnelli, 11 others, and the club itself stand trials over allegations of false accounting. The club has repeatedly denied any wrongdoings, and prosecutors in Turin, where Juve are based, have been investigating the club's accounting and statements made to financial markets over the past 3 years. They allege the club understated their financial losses for 3 seasons, 2018 to 2019, 2019 to 2020, and 2020 to 2021. In another development, Derek Chisora says he does not care what the critics think as he bids to upset Tyson Fury and win the WBC heavyweight title tomorrow. Chisora has lost 12 times in 45 bouts, including 3 of his last 4, and been beaten twice by Fury. Fury and Chisora vow to stand in the middle of the ring in the opening round at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and go toe-to-toe for the first 3 minutes. Chisora, who is 38 years, fought for the WBC belt 10 years ago, losing on points to Vitaly Klitschko, and revealed that Fury was the main architect behind the fight. Omotayo Adebodu, OSBC News.
Now to our foreign stories tonight. The energy minister in Zambia has said the country will start rationing electricity supply to domestic consumers from December 15 following a drop in water levels in Lake Kariba, threatening hydropower generation. Let's now join Abdul Jalil at DBC of our foreign desk as he completes the story.
Officials in neighboring Zimbabwe, which jointly owns the Kariba Dam with Zambia, said water levels were too low for them to continue power generation activities. Report says Kariba is the main source of electricity generation for both countries. Zambia's Energy Minister Peter Kampala told the parliament that water levels in the lake have dropped to 4.1% of usable storage for the Kariba North Bank power station in Zambia and the Kariba South Bank on the Zimbabwean side of the lake. Hydropower contributes more than 75% of Zambia's power generation. Uganda has discharged its last known Ebola patient, Diana Atwin, from hospital, raising hope that an outbreak that has killed at least 56 people will end soon. A senior health official said officials first confirmed the outbreak in September and said it was the Sudan strain of the virus which kills 40 to 60% of those it infects and for which there is no proven vaccine. The official said medics will continue to monitor people who had come into contact with infected patients until they have been clear of 21 days, but she did not say when the last case was confirmed. U.S. President Joe Biden has said it will be ready to meet Russia's Vladimir Putin if, in fact, there is an interest in him deciding that he's looking for a way to end the war. Addressing newsmen alongside French President Emmanuel Macron, he stressed that Mr. Putin had not shown commitment to end the war. Report says the two leaders stressed they will continue to stand against Russia's war. In response, the Kremlin said President Putin remained open to talks aimed at ending the war. Abdul Jalil at BBC, BBC News.
To end the major report, here again are the main points. Presidency says oil producing state earned 625.43 billion naira derivation funds in 2 years. Governor Ademola Adeleke has restated his commitment to fulfill his electioneering campaign promises while speaking today at Osbc Central Mosque. Ekiti State government will establish special court against gender-based violence. Ekiti State First Lady Odayemi Oyebanji announced this today in Ado-Ekiti in a chat with newsmen. A big drop in water levels threatened regular electricity supply in Zambia as River Kariba experienced shortage of water. That ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Adebari Ejimakinde. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.